Well guys, if you can't tell by the title, if you don't know who this is in the thumbnail, you're going to think that this is as stupid as it was to me when I first heard of the situation. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know anything about this situation, I'm going to enlighten you and give you a little run through and timeline of how we got here. The dude's name is Yandere. He's the developer of a video game. I'm just going to call him Dev because I don't want to constantly say his name the entire time. He made a video game. Now again, this is why I think that all of this happening was kind of warranted because nobody stepped in and we all just made an assumption and didn't do anything with it, which was kind of ironic because with every other person that's kind of sus, we all assume and we act on that assumption. And a lot of the time it's wrong, but in times like this, it would have been right. He made a video game off the basis of being a minor, a high school girl, murdering everybody that gets close to her crush. Not only did this girl murder people, she SA'd people, SA'd other minor females. Not only is that what happened, there was times in the game where you saw minors' underwear. There was a lot of suspicious activity going on in this game that I never played. I wasn't interested in playing, but if you look up anything with this game, you will see. I'm not gonna give a deep dive on it because I think those two things alone would have caused concern with me. Mind you, this game has never been finished. This game is in a 7-year demo trial still. Going forth with that, there's just a lot of suspicious things in this game that has to do with, that leans towards sexualizing minors. I think off rip, if you make a game that has to do with sexualizing minors, you're already sus. You're already done. The ideas that went through your head to make a game like this should cause concern to most people, and it did. Not only that, there was many, and I mean many, of pedo accusations throughout the years of this launch, but it took evidence for everybody to finally come together and say that this guy is toast. Not only is this guy toast, we have evidence. A lot of people think that this is funny. This right here, I know y'all probably read it if you haven't seen it already. A lot of people think that it's funny. It's not the only one, by the way. Go ahead and read while I talk. I don't think it's funny. I more so think that it's sad that by no point in any of this you stopped to talk to yourself about what you were doing. There was no point in any of this where anybody, even the people playing the game, stopped and questioned the motives behind a guy that's working so deep, years in a game, about minors being sexualized. I think it's kind of crazy that nobody even came to this. This same guy, months, and I mean months after the proof presented itself, decided it was time to finally make an apology video. And by no means, with the evidence that is presented itself, do I think there's any amount of apologizing that could be done to fix any of this.
Hello, I'm Yandere, the developer of Yandere Simulator. Last year, an extremely serious allegation was made about me that I would like to address. The accusation is that I attempted to groom an underage fan of my game. I will take accountability and admit that I did discuss inappropriate topics with a fan. However, the accusation that I deliberately attempted to groom this fan is false. In this video, I would like to apologize for what I feel I should apologize for, but I would also like to give you the full story so that you know what is true and what isn't true.
I'm going to be very transparent here. We're not going to listen to this whole story because he's already admitted to talking about sexual things with a minor. Mind you, this man is 35. I don't care how low things get. Talking to a minor just isn't acceptable, bro. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you belong in jail. This should be used as a confessional. Why is this man not being EDP'd right now? Can we just be honest with ourselves here just for a second? The amount of subscribers and the popularity with this game, it just seems kind of fishy to me that no legal action has been taking place. I think it's even more fishy to me that it took years and it took hardcore evidence for anybody to make a move. No boycott of the game, no nothing. I don't know any weirder games out there. I play games. I don't know any weirder games.
Let's start at the beginning. Last year, a fan of my game contacted me and wanted to chat. Usually, when a fan tries to talk with me, I just tell them that I'm too busy. But this person seemed really nice and friendly and funny, so I decided, you know what, sure, let's talk. She let me know right off the bat that she was 16, but I didn't see any problem with that.
Okay,
when I was 16, I had online friends that were in their 20s and 30s.
No, we're not about to do this. We are not about to do this because I've done this on the channel before. I need somebody in the comment section to please tell me if you've met a 16-year-old that was funny enough for you to seek a relationship with as a friend or as anything. The amount of humor that 16-year-old may have had is not enough for you to seek friendship with, especially when you tell me that everyone else that seeked this from you, you told was too busy. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense.
I didn't see any problem with that. When I was 16, I had online friends that were in their 20s and 30s, so it just didn't feel weird to me.
It didn't feel weird that you were trying to become friends with a 16-year-old girl off the basis of her being funny or cool. You know, me playing 2K with 30, when I was 14, I was playing with 25-year-olds. We played 2K, there is the same thing in mind. My humor was not the same as theirs. My life experience was not the same as theirs. Therefore, outside of being 2K friends, we couldn't be friends because we shared nothing. What was there to share? Off the basis of being a minute into this apology video, I'm sorry if I'm pausing too much. Probably gonna skip along because he's probably gonna go over some irrelevant stuff and I don't want to make this video too long. But he's admitted to a crime. He's admitted to talking sexually to this minor. And now he's trying to, this is kind of like gaslighting / manipulating his way through saying what he did wasn't that bad.
In the beginning, our conversations were normal, but she had a kind of adult sense of humor, and every now and then she would bring up a topic or ask a question that wasn't really appropriate. When this would happen, I wasn't entirely comfortable with it, but I rationalized to myself that it was no big deal and just kept talking with her.
So you're telling me you got peer pressured basically into sexual conversations with a 16-year-old. Hey, we may as well write boo-boo the fool on our foreheads because I'm not buying it. I'm not.
Eventually, I must have said something that sounded like a red flag to her, because at some point she started to record our conversations just in case I turned out to be some kind of predator.
Mind you, pause this for 1 second. I want y'all to hear something. You know how you just said that they recorded, she recorded his conversations? One got leaked. And I just want y'all to hear this, just a little bit. I might do some beeps in between. You're gonna have to read maybe.
I mean, you can't disagree with that without sounding like a creep. There's nothing I can really say about that.
Mother Nature sexualizes. Puberty starts to give breasts and wide hips to children before they turn 18. It's not like, a person does it to a child. The child's own body does it to themselves. It's not like an adult can go to a child and cast a magic spell that gives them breasts. Haha, I've sexualized you. I gave you breasts. And the child is like, no. No, the child just does it. The child.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Like I said before, I'm not buying this apology. I mean, I guess we can appreciate the fact that he took accountability, but no amount of accountability is going to cover up the fact what you did. None.
Our discussions got pretty weird. I wasn't comfortable with it, and I tried to express that, but like an idiot, I just went along with it anyway.
Like an idiot? No. You enjoyed it. You're the same one that lived the last 7 years, last 10 years, producing, developing a game about a minor doing sexual things to other minors. Let's be real. Let's be transparent about it. If you're gonna admit things and you're gonna be accountable, take it all the way. You're trying to make it sound like some 16-year-old girl managed to bully you or managed to overcome your uncomfortableness to talk about sexual things, and I'm just not buying it. I'm just not. And if you do buy it, you're the problem. The fact that it even got this far is the problem. There are victims now because nobody decided to speak up or say anything. That is a problem.
Because I had gotten into the habit of being really candid around this girl and just casually responding to whatever she said, it was very easy for her to get recordings of me answering questions I shouldn't have answered and discussing topics I should not have discussed. And the YouTuber then used those recordings to make a 40-minute long video accusing me of being a groomer. Out of respect for all of the people in the world who have actually been groomed, we should use the word grooming correctly. Grooming is when an adult tries to establish a relationship with a child with the intention of exploiting or abusing the child. That doesn't describe what I did. I didn't develop a friendship with the girl for that reason. That wasn't my intention. I did not attempt to establish a romantic or sexual relationship with the girl. But after having my behavior explained to me as commonly associated with romance, I can understand how it was interpreted that way.
It wasn't interpreted that way. It was that. If you don't want to use the word groomer, we can just go with pedo. It doesn't make any difference to me or anybody else that cares about the situation. I don't know what relationship you don't have with a 16-year-old, someone you got 19 years on, but I'm failing to understand what's the relationship that makes this normal or okay. Let's just say in this mythical world that don't exist, that he wanted to just be friends with her. What do you bond over? What is there to bond over where you're talking to the point where you're candid with her? There isn't anything.
I feel like it's worth mentioning that a lot of the remarks I made only sound bad when they're out of context. For example, there was one time when the girl jokingly said, "You should make an OnlyFans." And I said, "No, that's dumb. No one would ever want to see that." And she said something like, "Come on, it's so easy to make money on OnlyFans." And when I heard that, I thought, whoa, that's a little concerning. Don't tell me that social media is brainwashing this generation to think that they should just go directly into porn the second they turn 18 because it's the best way to get rich quick. That's a little concerning. I wanted to know if she was joking or if she was being serious. So I asked her, "Are you planning to start an OnlyFans?" And of course, the YouTuber used the recording of me saying, "Are you planning to start an OnlyFans?" to frame me as someone who initiates horrifically inappropriate discussions with children, which is just completely dishonest.
I want y'all to tell me if I'm being a little harsh here, but I am being harsh just due to the fact that I think what you did was disgusting, regardless of how many things you're trying to use to cover it up and all the excuses and reasonings that you're giving. If you were truly concerned about her making an OnlyFans, I don't think you'd ask. I think you'd tell, because that's the relationship you have with her as a friend. I'm not gonna ask you, are you gonna do it? I'm gonna say, that's not the right thing to do, don't do it. I don't understand what we're saying here.
There's a part of me that wants to go point by point down the list of every single questionable or suspicious thing I said and provide context for absolutely everything, but that's not really the main issue here. For one thing, a lot of the stuff I said is just weird no matter what the context is. I'll just admit it. But more importantly, I never should have let conversations like that happen in the first place. A normal, mentally healthy adult would have just blocked the girl immediately after the very first time she said something inappropriate. But I didn't. And having to face that fact was a wake-up call that made me realize I had deteriorated mentally.
No one in a normal mental space as an adult would do something as reckless and dumb as he did. Still think something wrong with you, not gonna lie to you. But it still doesn't give you the excuse. There's something called boundaries with your fans when you're developing a game. And furthermore, it's something called being responsible as an adult regardless of what your mental status is. This video ain't doing it for me. I don't really care for the sob story. I don't really care for it, to be honest. The rest of it is him just explaining his actions and going furthermore into detail about his game and more accusations that all just lead up to the same thing. His mental health wasn't good. He had nobody. He shouldn't have did it. Quasi. So I'm going to leave it here. I think what he did was disgusting, but everyone's up to their own interpretation. Leave your own interpretation of everything that happened down in the comment section below. Give me the 2,000, 5,000 subscribers. I'd appreciate it. And I'm out. I love y'all more than I love myself, and I'm out. Peace.